Hello, hello, hello. I am author and entrepreneur, the cerebral palsy vigilante, Zachary Fennell, and this is Making of a Memoir, my video series documenting the hard work involved in writing and self-publishing a book. Today is Thursday, January 27th, about a quarter to 12. Be heading into work soon. This morning, I have received feedback from of the people I've given my manuscript to take a look and provide feedback. Two of them are established authors. One of them had gave me the feedback this morning. I was able to get through the first 6 chapters of their feedback. Little errors here and there, like this one. Jason was pointing out to me, as you saw in that I had the wrong peak. I had peak as in like a mountaintop peak when it should be peak like you're peaking a look. So thanks to him, I have that changed. And it just goes to show the importance of showing your work to other writers because I've received feedback from multiple people so far and no one else has caught that. So it's important to get feedback from writers, and then also just feedback to get feedback from your regular casual reader. I can explain more about the difference and the importance in another later in this episode. Right now, I'm gonna continue to get ready for work. And I'm back Friday, February 4th. And while I say I'm back, to be more accurate, you're back. Because I have continued to plug away at my book. I just haven't recorded these updates. So, to catch you up on what I've been doing, as you saw from earlier in this episode, I was going through the feedback from an author friend of mine. I had worked last week, was it like Friday morning, or I'd work all day Friday, all day Saturday, and then Sunday afternoon. And I used little time each morning on Friday and Saturday before going into work to just get a little bit more, get like 2 more chapters read through, get 2 more chapters worth of feedback. Feedback, as you just saw in between video update clips, like opposed versus opposed. That is one of the big things Jason found with my writing, that a lot of times where I should have been opposed, I had just put oppose. So making those kind of corrections and going through his feedback. And honestly, sometimes you'll go through feedback as a writer, you'll kind of know, like, I disagree. For example, you're probably okay leaving this out and just going right to Ado being the one who drives you to Willoughby. And that feedback right there, Jason was giving me advice on something I could do to shorten up the book a little bit, remove a paragraph. As he said, it wasn't really, you could probably just skip this part and go straight to Ado driving you. However, I felt it was important to keep that in there because Nate otherwise just sort of disappears from the story. Nate was there for me, walked alongside me when I did that first 1 miler. Nate was alongside me for my unique birthday celebration where I did the untimed 3 miles at a downtown Cleveland event. Nate was done 5Ks and he did the half marathon with me. And all of a sudden, as we get to the marathon part, have him just sort of disappear seemed weird. So I made a point to put that in there, and therefore, you know, I'm going against Jason's feedback there and saying, no, this is important because this right here kind of explains Nate's disappearance from the rest of the book. And that example kind of goes into what I was saying earlier about having both writers read your work and then just casual readers. Casual reader is someone who just reads. They're not a professional author or writer or editor. They're just someone who reads a book, picks up a book, reads it. Like we all start out as. A writer, obviously, I don't need to explain what a writer, author, editor is, but the whole point of that is you need feedback from both, and you don't want to just get feedback from casual readers because they're going to miss things that a professional will catch for you. You don't want to just ask professionals, and because they are so, how do I say this nicely, like professionals become so absorbed into the writing business, into the writing, that whole structure, that sometimes the actual point can get lost. Uh, so, I'll give you a perfect example. This book, Someone Like Me by John W. Quinn. This isn't even self-published either. This book is what inspired me to want to try something physically challenging. Inside the book, I have known authors who would criticize this because the front matter. I am being told that a book begins on page one is where the story begins, where the book begins. The copyright page, the title pages, all that before that, that front matter, that stuff doesn't get page numbers. And in John's book, the page numbers aren't there. There's no page numbers on the dedication or contents or none of that. However, though, when you go to start the book at the introduction, it's not page one, it's page 9. And so for a professional, they might criticize that and question the book. However, me, in what a casual reader would, I guess when I read this, I was in a because I hadn't published my book yet, so I was a casual reader. Reading that, I never noticed oh my god, introduction starts on page 9 instead of 1. I never noticed that. The story is what compelled me. And sometimes, essentially, I guess what I'm saying is sometimes writers can get lost in details. And if you're trying to perfect those details, it's going to be, you could be fooling around with that manuscript forever and never get it published. And speaking of getting it published, I am moving closer and closer to that publishing goal. I am looking to get my book out out and released next month in March. I have received a foreword from a friend who offered to write it, and I will be going over notes of his draft, and this is all going to be stuff for another making of a memoir episode, formatting the paperback copy, doing those that those things. In the moment, though, it's been a while. I've been working on the book. It's just been a while, so I wanted to take the time to stop, give you an update, If you have questions about self-publishing that you have not had me answer so far in the Making of a Memoir series, please do ask them in the comments area. I will answer them both in the comments and maybe even ask your question in a future episode of Making of a Memoir. To be sure you receive notification every time I publish a new video, subscribe to my channel and have hit the bell icon to receive notifications. Of course, if you're subscribing and hitting that bell icon, you've probably liked this video. So go ahead and hit that thumbs up button to show it and let the world know. Until next time, remember, don't blend in, blend out.